My beloved child, come closer. Not physically, but in your attention, in your heart, in that quiet place within you that rarely gets a moment of stillness. Because what I am about to speak to you is not something meant to pass through your ears and disappear. It is something meant to settle inside you, to stay, to awaken something that has always been there, but that you may not have fully seen yet. For a long time, you have been living with a version of yourself that was shaped by everything you went through, by what people said, by what they didn't say, by what you experienced, by what you lost, by what you hoped for, and what didn't happen the way you expected. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began to form an identity. Based on those moments, you started to believe, this is who I am, not because it was true, but because it was repeated, because it was reinforced, because it felt real. But my precious one, I am not speaking to that version of you. I am not speaking to the one shaped by fear, or disappointment, or confusion, or the weight of past experiences. I am speaking to the real you, the one beneath all of that, the one I created, the one that has never once been unclear to me. Not for a single moment. Even when you doubted yourself, I never doubted you. Even when you felt lost, I never lost sight of you. Even when you questioned your direction, I was never confused about where you were going, because I do not see you the way you see yourself. I see you from the beginning, through every moment, all the way into what is ahead of you. I see the full picture. My beloved child, before anyone ever had an opinion about you, before anyone ever spoke words that shaped how you see yourself, before any moment had the chance to leave a mark on you, I had already defined you. You are never undefined. You are never without identity. You are never something that needed to be figured out. You are known completely. You are not created randomly. You are not placed here by accident. You are not formed without intention. Every part of you, your mind, your heart, your depth, your sensitivity, your awareness, your resilience, was placed within you on purpose, carefully, precisely, deliberately, like a builder who designs every detail. Before anything is ever constructed, I formed you with a level of intention that goes beyond what you can currently see. Nothing in you is misplaced. Nothing in you is unnecessary. Nothing in you is there by mistake. And yet, you have spent time questioning parts of yourself, wondering why you feel the way you feel, why you think the way you think, why certain things affect you more deeply, why you care the way you do, why you cannot just ignore things the way others seem to. And sometimes you have even wished you were different, less sensitive, less aware, less affected. But my dearest child, what you have been questioning is part of your design. What you have been trying to change is part of your strength. What you thought made you weaker is actually what makes you capable of something deeper. Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw, it is capacity. Your awareness is not a burden, it is perception. Your persistence, even when you are tired, is not weakness, it is strength in motion. You are not built to be shallow. You are not built to simply pass through life, without depth, without meaning, without awareness. You are built to carry something more, and that requires a different kind of heart. My beloved child, you have been living as if you are still becoming someone, as if your identity is something fragile, something that depends on how well things are going, something that rises when you succeed and falls when you struggle, as if a good day makes you more valuable and a difficult day takes something away from you. But listen to me carefully. That is not how you were created. Your identity is not something that shifts. It is not something that breaks. It is not something that disappears. When things become difficult, Your identity was established before your life ever began, before your first success, before your first failure, before your first moment of doubt, before your strongest day, and before your weakest. You are not building who you are. You are discovering who you have always been, my precious one. Right now, in this very moment, even if you feel uncertain, even if you feel unclear, even if part of you still questions everything, you are still standing on something that is never moved. You are not standing on your performance. You are not standing on your consistency. You are not standing on how strong you feel today. You are standing on what I built. And what I build does not shake. It is not weak. It is not shaken by pressure. It is not lost when you struggle. There have been moments in your life when everything around you felt unstable, when your plans didn't work, when people changed, when situations shifted, when your own thoughts felt overwhelming, when you didn't recognize yourself. But even in those moments, something held you. Something kept you from completely falling apart. Something remained, even when everything else felt uncertain. That was not coincidence. That was your foundation. That was what I built. My beloved child, there is a part of your life that has never been touched, a place within you that has remained intact through everything, through every mistake, through every setback, through every moment of confusion, through every season of doubt. And that part is what I am speaking to now. You are not as unstable as you feel. You are not as lost as you think. You are not as uncertain as your thoughts sometimes tell you. You are held. You are grounded. You are established. And nothing that has happened in your life has been able to reach deep enough to undo what I placed inside you. Not one moment, not one mistake, not one season. My precious child, I see all of you, the parts you show and the parts you hide, the strength you recognize and the strength you overlook, the battles you speak about and the ones you keep to yourself. And after seeing all of it, I still say this to you: you are mine, fully, completely, without condition, without hesitation, without change. I did not choose you because you were perfect. I chose you because I love you, and my love is not something that shifts based on how you are doing. It is not withdraw when you struggle. It is not weaken when you doubt. It is not disappear when you feel far away. It remains constant, unchanging, certain. So hear this clearly, my beloved child. Nothing you have done, nothing you have faced, nothing you have gone through has the power to undo what I have established in you. Nothing can reach that deep. Nothing can remove it. Nothing can touch it. And this is where everything begins to change. My beloved child, stay here with me a little longer, because what I am about to show you now is something that has quietly shaped the way you see yourself for a long time. There is a belief you have carried, not always clearly, not always consciously, but deeply. A belief that something inside you is not quite right, that something within you is damaged, incomplete, or somehow less than it should be. You may not say it out loud. You may not even fully admit it to yourself, but it has been there, influencing how you think, how you respond, how you see your own life. It shows up in small ways, in the way you question yourself after making a decision, in the way you replay conversations, wondering if you said something wrong, in the way you compare yourself to others and quietly feel like you are falling short, in the way you hesitate, even when something inside you is calling you forward. My precious one, that belief did not come from me. It was formed through experiences, through moments where you were misunderstood, through times when you felt unseen, through situations where things did not go the way you expected, and you did not know how to make sense of it, And slowly, without realizing it, you began to internalize those moments. You began to turn external experiences into internal conclusions. You began to believe, maybe something is wrong with me. But my beloved child, I want to gently remove that belief from you, not by force, but by truth. There is nothing wrong with your foundation, nothing broken at your core, nothing missing in your design. What you have experienced did not define what you are. It only shaped how you saw yourself, and those are not the same thing. My dearest child, there is a difference between being shaped and being broken. You were shaped, not broken. Yes, you went through things that stretched you. Yes, you faced moments that were confusing. Yes, you felt pressure that you did not expect. But in all of that, you were not being damaged. You were being developed. And I was there the entire time, not watching from a distance, but present, working within those very moments. The places where you felt the most pressure are the places where I built the most strength. The moments where you felt the most uncertain are the moments where something deeper was forming inside you. The times where you thought you were falling apart were often the times when something new was taking shape. But because you could not see what I was doing, you assumed something was going wrong. My beloved child, let me show you something clearly. That place inside you, the one you thought was a weakness, is not a crack. It is a connection point. It is where your depth comes from. It is where your awareness comes from. It is where your ability to feel, understand, and endure comes from. What you thought made you fragile is actually what makes you capable of carrying something more. You are not weak. You are deep. And depth is not always easy to carry, because it means you feel more, you notice more, you understand more, and sometimes you carry more than others even realize. But my precious one, I gave you that depth for a reason, because your life requires it. Your purpose requires it. The impact you will have requires it. You were never meant to live on the surface. You were created to move with awareness, with meaning, with understanding. And that is why your journey has felt different, not harder in a meaningless way, but deeper in a purposeful way. My beloved child, you have been trying to fix something that was never broken, trying to improve something that was already complete, trying to correct something that was already aligned. And in doing so, you have been carrying unnecessary pressure. Pressure to be better, pressure to be different, pressure to become someone else. But listen to me carefully now. You do not need to become someone else. You need to see yourself clearly, because once you see clearly, everything begins to shift. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop trying to earn your place. You stop trying to measure your worth based on outcomes. And you begin to live from something stable, something real, something that does not change when circumstances change. My dearest child, there is something inside you that is already proven. You may not have recognized it, but it has been there all along. You have already survived things you thought you could not handle. You have already walked through moments that should have stopped you. You have already continued when everything in you felt like giving up. That is not weakness. That is evidence. Evidence of what I placed inside you. Evidence of what you are capable of. Evidence that you are stronger than you think. My beloved child, there is something within you that refuses to disappear. Something that continues even when you are tired. Something that rises even when you feel low. Something that remains even when everything around you feels uncertain. That is not something you created. That is something I placed within you. And you have been drawing from it your entire life, even when you did not realize it. Every time you thought, I cannot do this anymore, but somehow you kept going. That was not you alone. every time you felt like you reached your limit, but still found the strength to continue. That was not coincidence. That was connection. My precious one, you have never been alone in your strength. You have never been unsupported in your struggle. You have never been abandoned in your process, even in moments when you felt distant, even in seasons when you stopped reaching for me, even in times when you believed you had gone too far. I stayed. I did not step away. I did not withdraw. I did not change my mind about you. I remained, because my presence in your life is not dependent on your performance, and my commitment to you does not change when you struggle. So hear this clearly, my beloved child. You were never broken. You were being built, and everything you went through did not damage your foundation. It revealed your strength. And now, you are ready to see it, my beloved child. Now I want to take you even deeper, because what you are about to understand will begin to change how you see every situation in your life. For a long time, you have been living as if everything about you could be shaken, as if one mistake could reduce your worth, as if one difficult season could take away your identity, as if one wrong step could move you out of what was meant for you. And because of that, you have been careful. You have been watching yourself. You have been measuring your thoughts, your actions, your progress, always wondering if you are still where you are supposed to be. But my precious one, listen to me very carefully now. What I have established in you does not exist at the level where it can be taken away. You are not as fragile as you have been made to feel. You are not standing on something temporary. You are not supported by something that depends on your perfection. You belong to me. And what belongs to me is not easily shaken, not easily removed, and not easily replaced. My beloved child, your identity is not something you are trying to hold together. It is something I have already secured. You have been living as if you must maintain it, as if you must protect it, as if you must constantly prove that you are still worthy of it. But that was never the design. Your identity was never meant to be something you carry. It is something that carries you. It does not depend on your consistency. It does not depend on your performance. It does not rise when you succeed or fall when you struggle. It remains. Even when you feel unsure, even when you feel distant, even when you feel like you are not doing enough, my dearest child, there is something that has already been decided about you, and no external voice has the authority to change it. No mistake has the authority to rewrite it. No moment has the power to undo it. No fear has the right to redefine it, because it was not given by the world, and it cannot be taken by the world. You are not trying to become someone valuable. You are already established as valuable. You are not trying to earn your place. You have already been placed. You are not trying to secure your position. Your position was secured before you ever tried to understand it. And this is where everything begins to shift. Because once you understand that your identity is not at risk, you stop living in fear of losing it. You stop hesitating. You stop shrinking. You stop holding back parts of yourself just to feel safe. My beloved child, the real battle you have been facing has never been about taking something from you. It has been about convincing you that it was already gone. Because if you believe that you are no longer secure, you will begin to live like it. If you believe that you have lost something essential, you will begin to move with fear. If you believe that you are alone, you will stop reaching for the help that is already yours. But none of those things were ever true. You have never been without your place. You have never been without support. You have never been without connection. You have only been made to believe that you were. My precious one, Right now, in this moment, nothing about your identity has been reduced. Nothing about your worth has been lowered. Nothing about your position has been changed. You are still standing in what I gave you. Fully, completely, without interruption. And because of that, you are not facing your life from a place of lack. You are not walking through your situations without support. You are not dealing with your challenges alone. Everything you need is already connected to you. You do not have to earn access to it. You do not have to qualify for it. You do not have to become something more to receive it. It is already part of you. My beloved child, this is where your confidence begins to change. Not because everything around you suddenly becomes easy, but because you understand something deeper. You understand that what matters most cannot be taken from you. You understand that your foundation is not at risk. You understand that even when things feel uncertain, you are still secure. And when you begin to live from that place, something powerful happens. You stop reacting to everything as if it defines you. You stop allowing circumstances to determine your worth. You stop letting temporary situations create permanent conclusions about who you are. Instead, you begin to stand, steady, grounded, unmoved at your core. You begin to make decisions without fear controlling you. You begin to move forward without constantly questioning yourself. You begin to live without the pressure of trying to hold everything together, because you realize that you are already being held. My dearest child, this is what authority feels like. It is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is quiet certainty. It is calm strength. It is the ability to remain steady even when everything around you is shifting. You were never meant to live in uncertainty about who you are. You are meant to stand in what is already true. And now, you are beginning to see it. My beloved child, there is nothing missing in you. There is nothing undone in you. There is nothing incomplete about what I have established in your life. And nothing that comes against you has the authority to change that. So, from this moment forward, I want you to begin living differently, not as someone trying to hold on to their identity, but as someone who is already established in it. Not as someone trying to prove their worth, but as someone who already carries it. Not as someone trying to protect what they have, but as someone who knows it cannot be taken. My precious one, you are not at risk. You are established. And once you begin to live from that truth, everything begins to change. Now you are ready to go even deeper. My beloved child, take a moment and let this settle inside you. You are not becoming secure. You are realizing that you already are. You are not trying to reach stability. You are standing on it right now. Even if your thoughts feel loud, even if your emotions feel unsettled, even if your circumstances feel uncertain, what is underneath you has not moved. Not even slightly, and it will not move, because I am the one who established it. My precious one, there is a strength in you that is not even fully revealed itself yet. Not because it is not there, but because you are only now beginning to see it clearly. And as you begin to stand in this truth, you will notice something changing within you. You will begin to feel less shaken, less reactive, less afraid of what might happen next. Not because life stops moving, but because you are no longer being moved by everything around you. You are anchored, you are grounded, you are established, and nothing can undo that. My beloved child, you are not going to lose who you are. You are going to fully step into it. And this is only the beginning. My beloved child. Now that you are beginning to see yourself more clearly, I want to gently bring your attention to something you have been carrying for a long time. Not something obvious, not something you can always explain, but something that has been weighing on you quietly. It is not just the challenges you face. It is not just the situations around you. It is the weight you have taken on that was never meant to belong to you. You have been carrying responsibilities that were not yours. You have been holding emotional weight that was never assigned to your life. You have been trying to fix things that were never yours to fix. And you did it without even realizing it. Because you care, because you feel deeply, because you did not want things to fall apart, because you thought that if you didn't hold it together, no one else would. My precious one, I see how much you have been carrying. I see the quiet pressure you put on yourself. I see the way you try to be strong for everyone. I see the way you absorb things that others release. And I want you to understand something very important. You were never meant to carry everything. You were never designed to hold the weight of every situation, every emotion, every outcome. You were created with strength, yes, but not the kind of strength that carries everything alone. The kind of strength that knows what belongs to you and what does not. My beloved child, there is a difference between love and overcarrying. There is a difference between caring and taking responsibility for everything. There is a difference between being present and losing yourself in what others are going through. And somewhere along the way, those lines became blurred for you. You began to take on more than your portion. You began to feel responsible for things beyond your control. You began to carry weight that slowly drained your energy, your clarity, and your peace. And because you are strong, you kept going. Even when you were tired. Even when you felt overwhelmed. Even when something inside you was asking for rest. My dearest child, strength is not measured by how much you can carry. It is measured by how aligned you are with what you are meant to carry. Carrying everything is not strength. It is overload. And overload will always lead to exhaustion. Not because you are weak, but because you were never designed for that weight. My precious one, there are things in your life right now that are not yours, not your responsibility, not your burden, not your assignment, and holding on to them is not helping you. It is holding you back. It is clouding your clarity. It is draining your strength, and it is keeping you from fully stepping into the life that was meant for you. My beloved child, I am not asking you to stop carrying. I am not asking you to become distant. I am not asking you to close your heart. I am asking you to return to alignment, to carry what is yours, and release what is not. And I know this is not easy, because part of you believes that if you let go, something will fall apart, that if you stop carrying it, you are failing someone, that if you release it, you are losing control. But listen to me carefully. You are not the one holding everything together. I am. You are not the one sustaining every outcome. I am. You are not the source. You are not the foundation. You are not the one responsible for everything working out. And when you try to take on that role, you do not become stronger. You become overwhelmed. My beloved child, let me carry what belongs to me, and you carry what belongs to you. This is where your peace returns. This is where your strength becomes clear again. This is where your mind becomes lighter, because you are no longer holding what was never yours. My precious one, I want you to begin asking yourself something simple but powerful. Is this mine to carry? And if the answer is no, you release it. Without guilt, without fear, without hesitation. Because letting go of what is not yours is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is alignment. It is truth. My dearest child, there is a version of your life that feels lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying everything. There is a version of you that feels clearer, not because there are no challenges, but because you are no longer overwhelmed by what does not belong to you. There is a version of you that feels peaceful, not because life is quiet, but because your inner world is no longer crowded with unnecessary weight. And that version of you is not far away. It is available the moment you begin to release. My beloved child, you are allowed to let go. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop carrying what was never yours. And when you do, you will not fall apart. You will come back into alignment. You will come back into clarity. You will come back into strength. Because you were never meant to live overwhelmed. You were meant to live supported. And I am here, carrying what you cannot, holding what you release, sustaining what you were never meant to control. My precious one, you are not losing anything by letting go. You are gaining yourself back, and this is where your life begins to feel different. Lighter, clearer, stronger, more aligned than it has ever been. And from this place, you are ready to move forward. My beloved child, now that you are beginning to release what was never yours, I want you to see something about yourself that you have not fully recognized. You are stronger than you think, not in the way you were taught to measure strength, but in a deeper, quieter, more enduring way. For a long time you believed that strength meant always being okay, always having clarity, always knowing what to do, always feeling confident and in control. And when you did not feel that way, you assumed something was missing in you. But my precious one, that was never true. Strength is not the absence of struggle. It is what remains within you in the middle of it. It is not about never feeling tired. It is about still standing when you are. It is not about having all the answers. It is about continuing forward even when you do not. My beloved child, you have already shown more strength than you give yourself credit for. You have walked through moments that you once thought would stop you completely. You have faced situations that stretched you beyond what felt comfortable. You have carried yourself through seasons where nothing felt clear. And yet, you are still here, still thinking, still hoping, still moving forward, even if slowly. That is not weakness. That is endurance, and endurance is a deeper form of strength. My precious one, there is something inside you that does not easily break, something that bends but does not collapse, something that feels pressure but does not disappear. You may have felt shaken, you may have felt uncertain, you may have felt overwhelmed at times, but you did not fall apart. You adapted, you adjusted, you continued, and that is a kind of strength that cannot be easily seen, but it is real. My beloved child, I did not create you to avoid pressure. I created you to withstand it, not because I wanted your life to be difficult, but because I knew what your life would require. And I built you with that in mind. Everything you have faced has revealed something about your capacity, not your limits, but your ability to continue beyond what you thought was possible. You thought you had reached your limit. And then you kept going. You thought you could not handle something, and then you did. You thought something would break you, and yet you remained. That is not coincidence. That is design. My dearest child, there is a difference between being overwhelmed and being incapable. You have felt overwhelmed, but you have never been incapable. And now that you are beginning to release what was never yours, you will start to feel the difference. Because what made you feel weak was not your lack of strength. It was the weight you were carrying. Now that weight is lifting, your true capacity will begin to show. And you will start to realize something powerful. You can handle what is ahead of you, not because everything will be easy, but because you were built for it. My beloved child, there are moments ahead that will require courage. There are situations ahead that will require clarity. There are decisions ahead that will require trust. And part of you still wonders if you will be able to face them. But I want you to hear this clearly. You will. because I would not lead you into something you were not designed to walk through. You are not being sent into your life unprepared. You are not being placed into situations without the strength to handle them. Everything you need is already within you, and everything you need beyond that, I provide. My precious one, you are not walking alone. You are not relying only on yourself. You are connected to me, and my strength does not run out. So when you feel uncertain, you do not have to panic. When you feel stretched, you do not have to fear breaking. When you feel tired, you do not have to believe you cannot continue. Because your strength is not based on your current feeling. It is based on what I have placed within you. My beloved child, you are anchored. Even when your emotions shift, you are anchored. Even when your thoughts feel scattered, you are anchored. Even when your circumstances feel unstable, you are anchored. Because your stability is not coming from what is happening around you. It is coming from what is underneath you, from what I built, and that does not move. My dearest child, this is what it means to be unshakable. Not that you never feel pressure, but that pressure does not define you. Not that you never feel uncertain, but that uncertainty does not control you. Not that you never face difficulty, but that difficulty does not remove your strength. You remain, you continue, you stand. And that is enough. My beloved child, you do not need to become stronger. You need to recognize the strength you already carry. You do not need to prove your capacity. You need to trust it. You do not need to force yourself forward. You need to walk with what is already supporting you. And as you begin to live this way, something will shift inside you. You will feel less afraid of what is ahead. You will feel more stable within yourself. You will begin to trust your ability to handle what comes, not because you have all the answers, but because you know you are not alone. My precious one, you are capable. You are prepared. You are supported. And you are stronger than you have allowed yourself to believe. Now it is time to live like it. And this is only taking you deeper, my beloved child. Now I want to bring your attention to something that has tried to follow you quietly through many moments of your life. Fear, not always loud, not always obvious, but present in subtle ways, in hesitation, in overthinking, in the quiet voice that asks, what if this goes wrong? In the feeling that makes you pause even when something inside you is ready to move forward. My precious one, fear has tried to present itself as protection, as if it is keeping you safe, as if it is helping you avoid mistakes. But I want you to see it clearly now. Fear does not protect your future. It limits your movement. It narrows your vision. It keeps your focus on what could go wrong instead of what is possible. And over time, if you are not aware of it, it begins to shape how you live. You begin to hesitate more. You begin to question more. You begin to hold back more. Not because you are incapable, but because you are listening to something that does not see the full picture. My beloved child, fear is not always completely false. Sometimes it points to real uncertainty. Sometimes it shows you situations that are not fully clear. Sometimes it reminds you of past experiences that did not go well. But even when fear speaks truth about what is visible, it is still incomplete. Because it cannot see what I am doing. It cannot see what is being prepared for you. It cannot see the strength that is already within you. It cannot see the path that is forming ahead of you. Fear only sees the surface. I see the whole. And this is where you must begin to shift your perspective. My dearest child, you have been listening to fear as if it understands everything, as if it has authority, as if its voice should guide your decisions. But fear was never meant to lead you. It was never meant to define your direction. It was never meant to control your steps. You were not created to live in hesitation. You were created to move forward. Even when things are not fully clear, even when you do not have every answer, even when the path ahead requires trust. My beloved child, there is something important I want you to understand. You do not need to remove fear completely in order to move forward. You only need to stop letting it decide. Fear may speak, but it does not lead. Fear may appear, but it does not control. Fear may be present, but it does not define you. My precious one, there have been moments when fear caused you to step back, moments when you delayed something, moments when you chose safety over growth, and you may look back at those moments with regret. But I do not, because even in those moments, you were learning, you were becoming aware, you were preparing for this understanding, and now you are ready to move differently. My beloved child, from this moment forward, I want you to begin noticing fear without following it. When it speaks, you do not have to react. When it presents possibilities, you do not have to accept them as truth. When it tries to slow you down, you do not have to stop. You can acknowledge it and still move forward. Because your movement is not based on fear. It is based on truth. My dearest child, you are not limited to what fear shows you. You are not bound to what fear predicts. You are not confined to what fear makes you feel. There is more available to you than what fear can see. There is more possible for you than what fear allows you to imagine. And there is more strength in you than what fear acknowledges. My beloved child, when you begin to live from this understanding, something shifts. You stop waiting for fear to disappear. You stop needing everything to feel safe before you act. You stop believing that uncertainty means danger. And instead, you begin to trust. You begin to step forward. You begin to move with quiet confidence. Not because everything is certain, but because you are supported. My precious one, you are not walking into your life alone. You are not facing your future without guidance. You are not stepping into uncertainty without support. I am with you in every step, in every decision, in every moment where you feel unsure. And because of that, you can move, even when fear is present. My beloved child, there is something powerful that happens when you stop letting fear lead. Your world begins to open. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your actions become stronger. Your life begins to move in ways that were not possible when fear was in control. Because you are no longer holding yourself back. You are no longer shrinking your possibilities. You are no longer limiting your own path. My dearest child, fear does not have authority over you. It never did. It only had influence when you believed it. But now, you see it differently. Now, you understand it. Now, you are no longer controlled by it. And this is where your confidence begins to rise. Not loud, not forced, but steady, real, unshakable. Because it is not coming from ignoring fear. It is coming from understanding that fear is not in charge. My beloved child, you are free to move forward. You are free to take the next step. You are free to walk into what is ahead of you without hesitation controlling you. Because you are not guided by fear. You are guided by me. And I do not lead you into harm. I lead you into growth. I lead you into purpose. I lead you into what was always meant for you. So when fear speaks again, and it will, I want you to remember this. It is not your future. You do. With me. And that changes everything. My beloved child, there is something I want you to understand now that will change how you interpret everything you have faced. There has been a battle around your life. Not always visible. Not always something you could explain, but real. You have felt it in the pressure that seemed to come without warning. In the resistance that appeared when you were trying to move forward. in the moments where things became difficult just when you were beginning to gain clarity, and because you could not always see what was happening, you began to ask yourself questions. Why does this feel harder than it should? Why does it feel like something is always pushing against me? Why does progress sometimes come with so much resistance? My precious one, you were not imagining it, but you misunderstood it. You thought the resistance meant something was wrong with you. You thought the pressure meant you were not doing something correctly. You thought the difficulty meant you were off track. But that was never the truth. The resistance you felt was not proof of your weakness. It was a response to your direction. It was a response to what is inside you. Because what I placed within you carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries impact. And anything that carries impact will always meet resistance. Not because it can be destroyed, but because it matters. My beloved child, you must begin to see your life differently, not as something constantly under threat, but as something already covered. Not as something fragile, but as something established. Not as something easily affected, but as something deeply protected, because you are not exposed. You are not unguarded. You are not standing in your life without covering. You are surrounded in ways you have not always been aware of. My dearest child, there have been moments where things could have gone further, but they did not. Situations that could have broken you, but stopped short. Moments that could have taken you down completely, but somehow shifted. At the time, you may have thought it was chance, or timing, or coincidence, but it was not. It was protection. It was covering. It was me, standing between you and what could not reach you. My beloved child, there is a line that cannot be crossed, a boundary that cannot be broken, a depth within you that cannot be reached by anything that comes against you. And that boundary is what I have built, not around you only, but within you. Your core is not exposed. Your identity is not accessible. Your foundation is not touchable, because I established it. And what I establish is not undone by external forces. My precious one, you have seen things fall away in your life. You have seen plans change. You have seen people leave. You have seen situations shift in ways you did not expect. And in those moments, it felt like you were losing something important, like something was being taken from you, like something was breaking. But listen carefully. What was removed was never your foundation. What changed was never what sustains you. What left was never what defines you. Because what I build cannot be destroyed. My beloved child, there is a difference between what surrounds you and what holds you. Your surroundings can change. Your circumstances can shift. Your environment can feel unstable at times. But what holds you remains. What sustains you remains. What defines you remains. Untouched, unmoved, unchanged. My dearest child, this is why you are still here. This is why you are still standing. This is why something inside you continues even after everything you have faced. Because that part of you does not come from the world, and it cannot be taken by the world. My beloved child, you have been protected more than you realize. There are things you never saw, moments you never fully understood, outcomes that were quietly redirected, paths that were adjusted without your awareness. Because you are not navigating your life alone. You are not unguarded. You are not left to face everything by yourself. I am present, constantly, and I am involved in ways you do not always see. My precious one, this is where your confidence begins to change. Not because life becomes easier, but because you understand something deeper. You understand that not everything that comes against you has power over you. You understand that there are limits to what can affect you. You understand that there is a boundary that cannot be crossed. And that boundary is what I have built. So when pressure rises, you do not have to panic. When resistance appears, you do not have to assume something is wrong. When things feel difficult, you do not have to believe you are unprotected, because you are not. My beloved child, they can come close, but they cannot reach what matters most. They can create noise, but they cannot silence what I placed in you. They can attempt to distract, but they cannot remove your purpose. They can try to delay, but they cannot stop what I have already set in motion. My dearest child, you are not under threat. You are under covering. You are not exposed. You are protected. You are not vulnerable at your core. You are established, and nothing can touch what I built in your life, my beloved child. Let this truth settle deeply within you. Let it change how you see your past. Let it change how you face your present. Let it change how you move into your future, because once you truly understand this, fear begins to lose its grip, doubt begins to fade, and you begin to walk differently, not cautiously, not fearfully, but with quiet certainty, with steady confidence, with deep peace, because you know something now that cannot be taken from you. They cannot touch you, not where it matters, not at your core, not in what I built. And this truth will carry you forward, my beloved child. Now that you understand what surrounds you and what protects you, I want you to begin living from it, not just hearing it, not just agreeing with it, but embodying it. Because there is a difference between knowing something is true and actually living like it is true. For a long time, you have moved carefully through your life. You have measured your steps. You have questioned your decisions. You have held back parts of yourself, waiting for certainty before moving forward. But my precious one, you are not meant to live cautiously in a life that I have already secured. You are not meant to move as if everything is fragile. You are not meant to shrink in places where you were designed to stand. When you truly understand that what I built in you cannot be touched, something begins to shift inside you. You stop holding back. You stop second-guessing every step. You stop living as if you are one mistake away from losing everything. Instead, you begin to move with calm strength. This is what authority feels like. It is not loud. It is not forceful. It is steady. It is grounded. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are supported. My beloved child, authority is not something you are trying to earn. It is something you already carry. Not because of what you have done, but because of who you are connected to. When you walk through your life, you are not walking alone. You are walking with me. And that changes everything. It changes how you see situations. It changes how you respond to challenges. It changes how you carry yourself in moments of uncertainty. My dearest child, you do not enter your life as someone unsure. You enter as someone held. When you face decisions, you do not have to be controlled by fear. You can move from trust. When challenges appear, you do not collapse under them. You remain steady, because what is underneath you has not moved. My precious one, I want you to begin seeing yourself differently, not as someone trying to survive, but as someone who is already secure, not as someone trying to protect what they have, but as someone who cannot lose what truly matters, because what matters most was never in danger. My beloved child, this does not mean life will never challenge you. It does not mean everything will always feel easy. But it does mean that no challenge can reach your foundation. No difficulty can remove what I placed inside you. No moment can undo what I have built. And when you begin to live from this truth, something powerful happens. Your reactions begin to change. Situations that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same effect. Voices that once made you doubt begin to lose their influence. You become calmer, clearer, more grounded. Not because everything around you changed, but because you did. My dearest child, you were never meant to be controlled by what is happening around you. You were meant to be anchored in what is already true within you. You were not designed to be pushed by fear. You were designed to stand in truth. And standing does not mean resisting everything with effort. It means remaining steady. It means not losing yourself when things shift. It means not forgetting who you are when challenges arise. My beloved child, from this moment forward, I want you to carry this awareness into everything. When you wake up, remember that you are covered. When you step into your day, remember that you are guided. When something unexpected happens, remember that you are still held. Let this become natural to you, not something you remind yourself of only in difficult moments, but something that lives within you constantly, because this is your reality. My precious one, you do not need to fight for your place. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to protect what I have already secured. You simply need to live from it. And as you begin to live this way, you will notice something. The things that once felt threatening will begin to lose their power. The things that once felt overwhelming will begin to feel smaller, not because they changed, but because you are no longer seeing them from fear. You are seeing them from truth. My beloved child, this is what it means to live untouched. Not that nothing ever comes against you, but that nothing can reach what defines you. Not that life never tests you, but that those tests cannot remove who you are. Not that everything is easy, but that everything is secure at its core. So walk forward now with confidence. Move with calm assurance. Stand with quiet strength. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything that truly matters is already established. My beloved child, you are not fragile. You are established. You are not exposed. You are covered. You are not uncertain. You are guided. And as you continue forward, this truth will grow stronger within you. It will shape how you think, how you move, how you live. Because once you begin to live like someone who cannot be touched, everything begins to align with that truth. And you are stepping fully into it now, my beloved child. Now we come to a place where everything begins to come together, not as something new being added to you, but as something already within you becoming clear. For so long, you have felt like you were trying to reach a version of yourself that felt complete. A version of yourself that felt steady, confident, certain, and aligned. You believed that one day, after enough growth, enough effort, enough understanding, you would finally arrive at that place. But my precious one, you are not moving toward that version. You are uncovering it, because it has always been within you. You were never empty. You were never incomplete. You were never lacking in the way you believed. You were simply seeing yourself through a limited view, and now that view is changing. My beloved child, you are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you already are. The strength you are beginning to feel, it was always there. The clarity that is rising in you, it was always present. The stability you are stepping into, it has always been beneath you. Nothing essential has been added. Nothing real has been missing. What is happening now is alignment, and alignment changes everything. My dearest child, when you are aligned, you stop chasing. You stop searching outside yourself for something that was already placed within you. You stop measuring your worth based on outcomes. You stop questioning your place every time something feels uncertain. Instead, you begin to stand. Not forcefully, not with pressure, but naturally, because you are no longer resisting what is already true. My beloved child, there is a version of you that no longer hesitates the way you once did, a version of you that does not constantly second-guess every step, A version of you that moves forward with calm certainty, even when everything is not fully clear. That version of you is not in the future. It is available now. You do not have to wait for it. You do not have to earn it. You only have to step into it. My precious one, you are aligned the moment you stop arguing with your own foundation. The moment you stop letting doubt speak louder than truth. The moment you stop trying to become and start recognizing. And as you do this, you will begin to notice something powerful. Your mind becomes quieter. Your decisions become clearer. Your direction becomes stronger. Not because everything around you has changed, but because you are no longer divided within yourself. My beloved child, when you are aligned, life begins to respond differently to you. Situations that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Decisions that once felt confusing begin to feel clear. Opportunities that once felt distant begin to feel reachable. Because you are no longer approaching life from uncertainty. You are approaching it from stability, from truth, from what is already established. My dearest child, you are no longer who you thought you were. You are not the doubts you carried. You are not the fears you listened to. You are not the limitations you once believed. Those were layers, not your core. Those were experiences, not your identity. Those were moments, not your foundation. My beloved child, your foundation has never changed. Your identity has never been removed. Your worth has never been reduced. Everything that matters has remained, untouched, unshaken, unchanged, and now you are beginning to see it clearly. My precious one, this is the moment where you stop holding back, where you stop waiting for permission, where you stop delaying your own movement, because there is nothing left to prove. There is nothing left to earn. There is nothing left to fix. You are ready. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are established. My beloved child, you were never behind. You were never late. You were never off track. Even in the moments where you felt lost, you were still being led. Even in the seasons where nothing made sense, you were still moving forward. Even in the times where you thought you had gone too far, you were still within my reach. Because I have been with you in every moment, and I am still with you now. My dearest child, everything is aligning. Not because something new has been created, but because you are finally seeing clearly. And once you see clearly, you cannot go back to who you thought you were. You can only move forward as who you truly are. My beloved child, you are stepping into yourself, fully, confidently, without hesitation. And as you do, your life will begin to reflect that truth, because what you accept within shapes what you experience outwardly. And now, you are ready for the final step. My beloved child, stay with me for this moment. Let everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything that has been awakening inside you, come together now, not as separate pieces, but as one truth. You are not who you once believed yourself to be. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your fears. You are not reduced by your mistakes. You are not weakened by the seasons you struggled through. You are what I created, and what I created has not been undone. My precious one, there will still be moments in your life where things feel uncertain. There will still be days where your thoughts feel heavy. There will still be situations that try to test your peace. But now, you know something you did not fully know before. None of those things can reach your foundation. None of those things can remove what I built. None of those things can take who you are. And this is where your peace becomes real, not temporary, not dependent on circumstances, but steady, unshakable. Because it is no longer coming from what is happening around you. It is coming from what is already established within you. My beloved child, you are not walking into an uncertain future alone. Every step you take is still within my covering. Every moment you face is still within my awareness. Nothing ahead of you surprises me. Nothing catches me off guard. Nothing is outside of my reach. So you do not need to fear what is coming. You do not need to worry about what you cannot see. You do not need to question whether you will be able to handle what is ahead, because you will, not by your strength alone, but by mine. And my strength does not fail. My precious one, let this settle deeply within you. You are safe in ways you cannot always see. You are supported in ways you do not always notice. You are guided even when you feel unsure. And because of that, you can live differently. You can wake up without fear controlling your thoughts. You can move through your day without constantly questioning yourself. You can face situations without feeling like everything is at risk. You can rest, knowing you are held. My beloved child, this is the life I am calling you into. A life of peace that does not break under pressure. A life of strength that does not depend on circumstances. A life of quiet confidence that does not need to prove itself, because it is rooted in something real. My dearest child, you are not fragile. You are established. You are not exposed. You are covered. You are not alone. You are with me, always, my precious one. Carry this truth with you, not just as something you heard, but as something you live. They cannot touch you. Not what truly matters. Not what I built. Not what I placed inside you. Not who you are. No situation can reach that deep. No mistake can undo it. No voice can remove it. It is secure, completely, forever. My beloved child, lift your head, steady your heart, move forward now. Not with hesitation, but with certainty. Not with fear, but with peace. Not as someone trying to hold everything together, but as someone who is already held. Because you are, and you always have been. My beloved child, I love you. More than you understand, more than you have felt, more than you have allowed yourself to believe. And my love for you does not change. So walk forward now with clarity, with strength, with peace, knowing this above all. Nothing can touch what I built in your life. My beloved child, now, before you move forward, stay here for just one moment longer. If these words have touched your spirit, if you feel something shifting inside you, if you sense a quiet steadiness beginning to form within you, then whisper softly, right where you are, I trust you, not as a habit, not as something you have been taught to say, but as a decision, a choice to stand, even when everything is not clear. And my precious one, if this message strengthened you, do not keep it to yourself. There are others, standing where you once stood, hiding pain behind strength, preparing themselves for disappointment, trying to hold everything together while quietly breaking inside. They need to hear this. They need to be reminded. They need to know they are not forgotten. Share hope. Speak life. Remind someone that they are chosen. Because this moment was not random, this was not coincidence, this was intentional. You were meant to hear this. And now you are stepping into what was already prepared for you. And hear this clearly, my beloved child. Nothing can separate you from my love. Not your past, not your fear, not your mistakes, not your doubts, not your waiting, not even your weakness. Nothing. You are held. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen. And I am with you. Always. And if you feel in your spirit that these words were meant for you, say it again quietly. I trust you, not because everything makes sense, not because every question has been answered, but because you choose to believe that I am faithful. And if this message reached you at the right moment, if it strengthened something inside you, if it reminded you who you truly are, type Amen below, not as routine, not as habit, but as a declaration that you are stepping into what I have prepared for you. And do not keep this to yourself. There are others who feel tired, others who feel unseen, others who are losing hope. Share this with someone who needs to remember. They are chosen. My beloved child, this was not coincidence. You were chosen to hear this. And nothing can separate you from my love.